Anyways, what the fuck is up, y'all?
What's good? What's good?
We are here with Atlanta legend Apoc Krysis.
Yeah, appreciate you all having me, man.
I just want to ask, how are you? How are you feeling?
I'm doing good. It's hot out here. Like it's crazy hot.
I saw that you just did a show in Arizona. What was that like?
Oh, that was awesome. We did that at Trill Shop. And so like I don't know if you know Trill Shop, but check them out if you're in Arizona. They big hip hop store.
Have you been to Arizona often? Are you like familiar with that part of the scene?
No, that was my first time out there.
Who got you involved?
My homie Andretti, he got me out there.
That's hard. Okay. This is probably something people that are going to listen to this that are fans of you probably already have heard these things a billion times, but, let's just say this is Apoc's fans' first time introduction. I'm going to go over some, like, super basics.
Yes.
What is the origin of the name Apoc Krysis?
Oh, man. That's, like, everybody's question. Everybody's got, like, so many different things that they think it is. Like, one thing is, like, I remember at some point everybody started using, like, POC, like, person of color. And so I would get messages, and people were like,
No fucking way.
yeah, no, they messaged me, and they're like, I get it. Holy shit. It's a person of color crisis.
That
I'm like, nah, man. Because like what it really was, what it stems down to is like I'm a big fan of MF Doom, R.I.P. And like so I wanted a name that just had like that, like it sounds like an event, like something bad's happening, like. So yeah, I really fuck with like MF Doom's music, and that's really what it like stemmed from. I'm like, I wanted something kind of close to it,
Please tell me that interaction happened to your face.
You said what?
Please tell me that the POC interaction happened to your face.
No, I get messages all the time. I still get them.
Like consistently?
Still, like people meet me and they're like, yo, holy shit. I'm like, nah, that's not it, man.
I'm sorry, but that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, nah, it happens all the
time. What genre of music would you say you specialize in?
Man, I would say like we call it like Memphis Revival, like at this point, because I do funk, like so I claim funk. A lot of people don't claim funk, but really what it stems down to is me like liking Memphis rap, being from Atlanta, so I make like Southern rap, and funk is like the resurgence of it to me. Everybody's got a different like opinion of what funk is and all that.
Would you say that you're like a part of the people? I personally would think this, but would you consider that you're like a part of the people that like spearheaded that revitalism?
Oh, definitely. Like I think the main thing that was going on is, besides DJ Smokey and Raider Clan, Space Ghost Perp, all them, like we came in, me and like all the other producers like DJ Sacred and people from Doom Shop, like when we came in, we were making that real lo-fi, like in the technique, like trying to use like actual machines and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think it was like sometime in 2017. Technically, I'm gonna out myself. I didn't really like start listening to you until like the last 8 months ago. I came across this video called Final Boss, and I was like, oh shit, I've been sleeping. But like I think it was like a Freddie Dredd song in like 2017, and I was like, oh shit,
was it Cough It Up?
It might be, but it was like a beat you produced that I was like, I've had that name like familiar with me, and I've seen it pop up over the years. I think there's a couple producers that you've worked with or like rapped on their other beats before that I was like, okay, that like when I found that Final Boss video, I was like, oh fuck, I've been asleep.
Bro, the funny thing about the Final Boss video, that's like my most divisive track, like high key, because there's people that absolutely hate that, like they
really
hate that track. I got hate messages about that. Like there was some like Russian dude, and he's like, have you forgotten what funk is? He's like, the crisis has fallen.
What about that song specifically would even?
I don't even know. Like they don't like the like, because I look back at like some of my older stuff, and it's like, very monotone almost, and that one's really expressive, like high pitched voice. The high pitched voice is out there, it's aggressive. So some people don't mess with that, and then it is G funk, like it's like G funk and funk mix, so.
Do you feel like there Do you feel like because of the sounds that you do, you are put like in a box because of that?
Yeah, I'm definitely put in a box. Like it happens all the time. You know, I've shown people I can get out of the box. I can do anything. You know, I can sit there and make like an auto tune track. I can make a hyper pop track, like whatever. And that doesn't necessarily mean like they gonna want me to do that. You know, because they really just see it as like funk. You know, they like make funk.
Yeah, what is it? I feel like I want to ask you about this, but like specifically when it comes to you, when I came across Final Boss, I ended up listening to your album on the low key, and like what I really like about you is I see a lot of artists that are in that realm, but they just like, you know, Lee Suicide Boys, you know, they pick it up. Like you can tell that like you have your heart in it, and like there's a lot of samples that I've heard you use that I've like heard a lot of people use, but I'm like the way you've used it, I'm like, nah, it's like got that swag. It's got that extra element.
Low key. I used it first. I'm just saying. I think I did. You know, there's a lot of times I see that because people will be like, "Oh, that's from that Apoc Krysis track." It's like, no, that's actually from the '90s, but I sampled it first. But
How long would you say you've been rapping?
shoot, I've been rapping. I would say 12 years old. Like as far as putting tracks out, 14 was when I put out like my first published track. You know, but definitely since like 12.
Have you always been working with this sound, or were you like dabbling in something else?
I started off with boom bap, you know, like because like I said, MF Doom,
yeah,
huge MF Doom fan. So I definitely started off with boom bap, but I was just always surrounded by Southern rap, you know, just growing up here, you know. So like you heard 3 6 Mafia on the radio and all that all the time. So it was bound to happen, you know.
What do you feel like, especially in this super oversaturated fucking TikTok funk market, do you feel like sets you apart from the rest?
That's the thing. Is just like I feel like I'm true to the sound, and I feel most people that peep it like they can see like he's actually because man, I come across people all the time. They've never heard Memphis music. They don't know where these samples come from. They don't even know that they're samples, you know, because it's just like you don't know Skinny Pimp, you don't even know 3 6 Mafia, and it goes way deeper than that as far as Memphis. And like so, there's people that are just really vultures. You know, a lot of people just, you know, they see the cowbells and they're like, I'm gonna make a cowbell track, and then all of a sudden they're a funk artist, you know, like all that.
I see you all the time talk about sample clearances, and I'm really curious about your opinion on that, because when I've done my research on that, what I've gotten from it, at least from like the 90s space, is that it was a sign of respect to like sample each other. Like it was almost encouraged because it was like such a local thing that we're like, yeah. I help you, you help me kind of thing. Or well, maybe I might misinterpret that, but like I've noticed that like people like they use like a lot of the same samples, but it's not like it's not due to laziness. It's due to like.
Well, big thing, I would say like a big thing when it comes to samples, especially using the same samples, there's two things. And this is what I don't see people do like now, is a lot of people were using the same samples because that's all they had. Mm-hmm. Like you had one record, you knew how to fire drum beat or like a fire like melody. And so everybody would use that. And it would be like, oh, I did this better than you. You know, it's just like it was because samples are an instrument.
Yeah.
It's just like DJs battling and everything like that. Like they're like, I did this better than you using the same equipment. You know, so they would show out with that. And then as far as sampling each other, yeah, like you know, that was a sign of respect and disrespect, you know, because like I just got into we dropped a couple disses here and there. And
I wasn't gonna ask you about that.
Oh, he's gonna ask about that. Okay,
yeah. We'll get into that soon, but finish your thought about the
about sampling.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like so that's the big thing I see, and I don't think people do that now. Is we're not really using what's local to us. We're not using like what we hear, because you know when you sampled back then, you wanted to sample something that you already knew people knew, like was an earworm, you know. So like I don't know, we'd probably be sampling like Billie Eilish or something if we were staying true to form, you know.
I've noticed that, not to bring up the fucking I won't say names, but I've started to notice that like it's become so everybody's suing everybody that people are starting to now like sample themselves.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're just flipping their old work to just like now do like which is cool as fuck. I personally think because
Yeah.
I'm like it gives more respect to the shit that happened beforehand. But I mean like, let me know when that Billie Eilish Apoc flip happens. I'll be the first one on it. What would you say was like first got you into? Well, we went over MF Doom, but like just wanting to like rap music in general. Like, what was like your earliest influence that like, fuck, like really, fuck? I guess you really did say MF Doom.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't have caught on to MF Doom until I was like 9 years old, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I grew up with was a lot of West Coast rap and Biggie. Like so, I had like East Coast Biggie, Nas,
Mm-hmm.
and West Coast it was Snoop Dogg. And so Snoop Dogg was definitely like the first rapper that I learned the words to rap along. So there was a big Snoop Dogg influence, and that stemmed into me like finding out more West Coast leaning, because Brother Lynch Hung, like MF Doom and Brother Lynch Hung, those are my like favorite rappers all time.
Mm-hmm.
So
What was the first album you ever bought?
first album I ever bought was Soulja Boy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Which one specifically?
I can't remember.
Was it like the MySpace era, like when
It
his
was
like
it was his first album, like immediately, like whatever his first album was, that was the one I bought. Like I went to the store and got that.
God, core memory watching fucking.
That would have
called?
been the first album that I bought myself, like as far
Mhm.
as just like I can't remember how old I was when that came out. But I definitely asked for albums that like, my mom or my granddad bought me.
Was that like 2006, 2007?
I think it was 2007.
Yeah.
I feel like it was 2007.
Like core memory is that the fucking Superman video. Like,
Yeah.
oh my
Crank
God.
that.
What was the first concert you ever attended?
Shoot. First concert I ever attended was probably Xavier Wolf.
What year was that? Was that like early? Like
It wasn't that early. I can't remember. And because I was already producing when I went there.
mm-hmm.
They actually played one of my songs. So like
Rare.
I went to the
That's a
show.
fucking trip.
Yeah.
Especially your first show you go to too.
Yeah, bro. I had a track train, so that you can check my track train for beats. And some
Mm-hmm.
guy that was like opening, he bought a beat for my track chain and recorded it like the day before. And then I heard him go up and I heard my beat, and I was like telling everybody like, "Oh shit, this is my beat. I made this." And so I was like, that was crazy. So that was like first rap concert.
Damn. If that was your first concert, what was like your first introduction to the quote unquote underground space scene?
In person or like
Just like in general, like online, like what was like your first like
shoot,
got
2000, 2010, like 2010, because
Mhm.
Lil B would have been like the first underground artist that peeped. I would make because before I even produced, I
Mhm.
was using virtual DJ, and I'd make like mixtapes, and so
Hell
like
yeah.
I would like make mixtapes, print them off, and hand them out at school. Be like, "Yo, check this out." So it would usually be like the swag rap era, at that point, because it would have been like Lil B, Soulja Boy, Krayshawn.
What year was that Xavier Wolf concert? I'm curious because I'm like you're tapped in like
Shoot, that Xavier Wolf concert, I want to say like 2015, 2016.
that would make sense. So it was like peak Sesh Hollow Water Boys era.
Yeah, that was here in Atlanta. So that venue actually like got shut down. The venues always get shut down here, other than the Masquerade. Shout out Masquerade, man.
Was it like a very local kind of spot?
Oh yeah, definitely. What thing was crazy is they had a bunch of dogs out there. There was stray dogs, so you were waiting in the parking lot, and there's like Rottweilers, like literal like foaming at the mouth dogs, and people were like, some people definitely like left. There was at least 6 dogs, and they just barked at you while you were in line. It was cold. It's crazy.
Was it like in the middle of nowhere or something?
No, it was just downtown Atlanta. It just like
And it was just dogs.
yeah, they just had dogs there. Like I said.
Do you remember the first song that you made?
First song I made, yeah, the first song I made was freestyle over like an MF Doom beat. I can't remember the lyrics, you know. But
Do you remember the first song that you made that was like a beat you that you rapped on that was a beat you made?
That I produced. Yeah, I had one song that I didn't put out. Like I never released it, and that was when I was producing using Machine. I would have been like 14, 13. I didn't put that one out. And then the first song, you can actually like peep it. The first song I put out as Apoc Krysis was Underground Freestyle 94. And so like that's the first one. Like it's embarrassing to go back to, but at the same time it's still cool.
So it's still out there online?
It's still out there. You can find it.
Is it like on your SoundCloud?
It's not. It's not on there, but it's on YouTube. Like it's on YouTube. It's with my homie Money P. We was in a group called Dark back then.
What's an album or song that like changed your whole outlook on music that like really we were like, nah, I want to be a rapper?
Shoot. The two albums I would say, I gotta say 3 albums because it wasn't just like one. It was like I listened to these so close to each other. It would have been MF Doom, Operation Doomsday, Brother Lynch Hung, Season of the Sickness, and 24 Deep. Okay, I'm going into 4 now because I'm thinking I'm just like instantly, and then Wu-Tang entered the 36 Chambers. Yeah,
that's like essential. Those are all essential albums. That totally makes sense.
Essential. And then as far as like Southern rap, man, I gotta say 3-6 Mafia, Mystic Styles, you know. So it was heavily like horrorcore and like underground, you know, like that was what was going on.
What is one experience in life that without it you don't think you would be the artist you are today?
Shoot.
That could be like music, just life shit.
Man, that's loaded. I don't know, because just like I just am an artist, man. You know, like for the longest time I always wanted to be involved in music. And before that, movies. You know, watching movies, definitely, because I wanted to be a director before I did music. So I would say, yeah, I don't think I would be as creative as I am without like, you know, movies.
Are you a big fan of horror movies?
Oh, huge.
Would you say that horror movies are like a big inspiration on your music?
Yeah, definitely.
You got any like on the top of your head that you would say like?
Well, Evil Dead, like, man, everybody knows I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. All Evil Dead movies, you know, even like the new ones. So, like, huge Evil Dead fan. I like Hatchet too. I like slasher movies. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never been one that just likes like the eerie horror movies. Mm-hmm. I like to get straight into just like chopping people up.
I love some schlock.
Yeah.
God, the new Evil Dead movies are actually way harder than they probably should.
They go crazy, and that's the thing I be telling people, because people like them remakes, or well, these aren't even really remakes, but
the Evil Dead remake is like it shouldn't be that good, but
that goes hard. That goes hard. Yeah.
Evil Dead Rise also fucks, but not nearly as hard as that Fede Alvarez movie.
I always be making people, if I'm at a party and the party like chills down, I make everybody watch an Evil Dead movie if they haven't seen it. Like literally, I'm just like, yeah, we about to put this on.
What is your favorite like show performance experience so far?
Oh, that would have been the Smokers Fest. I did that with Krayshawn, and so she brought me out. And that was crazy because I performed on the main stage, so it was the same stage that Playboy Cardi, Playboy Cardi, Kid Cudi, Wiz Khalifa, they were on that same stage. And right before me was Earl Sweatshirt. And
holy shit.
Earl Sweatshirt, big influence on me too, because like I was definitely, like I said, when it was like the swag rap era, Our Future, like all the bass shit. But yeah, so you know, he actually handed me the mic, and I was like, damn, that's a full circle moment.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck. Krayshawn and Earl, that's like so rare.
It's rare, it's random, it's full circle, because like I said, I literally passed out mixtapes, and like the mixtapes had Lil B, who I worked with also, Krayshawn, Our Future, you know, like all that. You know,
I love a full circle moment. That's literally the only thing that keeps me going in this fucking cancerous, oversaturated market.
Yeah, for real, man.
What is your worst performance experience?
I haven't had one. Like, luckily, everything has been good. I've been to shows where it seemed like it was going to be a disaster, and like people before me, like got their mic unplugged and all types of stuff going on.
Blown out speakers. And all
Oh
that
man,
noise.
I've been to some blown out speakers, but luckily, like I go up there and don't have issues, so it's been good, you know. So knock on wood for real. Like I don't want that to happen, but it's all been good.
Have you had any weird fan experiences yet?
I have a lot. I don't know if I want to talk about it.
They're that weird?
Oh man, it gets weird. It gets weird, and like everybody, we all got weird fan experiences, man. Like it's crazy. But luckily, most of mine like aren't in person. It would be like somebody sends me something crazy. Like I've definitely gotten like a snuff film or best score or something like montage to like my music sent to me. And
That's one of those things. That's a double-edged sword where that's hard as fuck, but that's also like, oh my god,
no, it's weird. Like no, I don't like that, and I don't like people. You know, they'll be like, you know, they got the wars going on or anything like that. I don't like them using my music for like propaganda.
That's crazy. I've noticed that has like become such an uptick thing where like there will be people like in all parts of the world that like really push like hardcore and horrorcore, and then it's like that's like crazy. They're really out there killing people like bumping.
Yeah. No, literally. I mean, there's like military kill montages, and they got my music in there, and I was like, I don't fuck with that. No.
That's insane. Yeah. Damn. What would you say is an approach to an Apoc Krysis song? Like, where do ideas stem from? How does a song start?
The song starts just like, that's the thing, is like I'm so all over the place, and that was why it was so hard for me to get like my first album together. Is I don't make beats that sound the same, and I don't make beats in like blocks. Mm-hmm. Like when I make a beat, it's getting used. Like it's not like I'm all right, I'm gonna make 20 beats or something like that. Like because people are like, oh man, you make a lot of beats. I really don't. Like they get used, you know. So as far as approaching it, it's different every time. Like I may be inspired by something that happened, or I may be inspired by like a horror movie or something.
I really want to get into specifically on that your album On the Low Key, because I was really curious about like you're a very consistent artist, and I noticed that like retrospectively, because granted I haven't been on the following your journey, but like doing my research, I've noticed that like it was something that like you stay consistent, and you say like your process is like if you make a beat, like you're bodying that shit. So when you had in mind making an album, is that one of those things where like you hold on to songs, or you make a beat and you're like, oh, this is for the album? Like what was your approach with that?
My approach for this album is what I was like always wanting to do, because a lot of times so many of my projects are just rushed. Like they literally are rushed, and it's either because I'm working with somebody else or I'm just trying to get it out within a time period. But I didn't rush this album. Like I was like, I wanted to make something that I would listen to. Like, you know, like when I first started doing music, like if I heard this album, I'd be like, yo, that inspired me, you know. So with this one, I made as many tracks as I could, just like, and then I picked the best ones. So the original, like On the Low Key album, it basically, there's 3 albums worth of On the Low Key, and it was different every time, and so I mixed it all together with the best ones.
So it was something that you were like working towards for like a good amount of time.
Good bit. I would say I started on it. I don't know, basically like a year. Started on it.
Yeah, I saw you like had previewed a beat that I noticed was on the album like a whole year beforehand. With that work ethic and like you said, like pushing things out like that, how do I phrase this? How does a project come together for you? Like, do you just like I noticed that you like have a lot of frequent collaborators, like shout out Jupalux and Sam and
that's Jupalux.
God, I've fucking been learning how to pronounce everybody's names. I mean that with all respect.
No, I got you.
And Crystal Ball and all of them. How does that come together? Like we're just gonna link up and lock in, and like is it like a back and forth thing?
It's a back and forth thing with most people. Like me and Jupalux, like I actually had her and several other artists come down here to a B&B in Georgia. And so we made a lot of music when we were at that B&B.
Mm-hmm.
So that was that. But as far as like Cristobal, like we just tap in. That's through the internet, you know. So me and Cristobal like work all the time.
I've seen you done a handful of those artist retreats. How did those start happening? Like,
well, the first one was with Freddie Dredd and Jake 3. So I had Freddie and Jake come down to Georgia, and so they stayed there. I can't remember how long, but it was there for a good bit. And we shot the music video for Cough It Up, and we made like basically a whole EP. You know, there's some tracks that aren't released, probably like 8 tracks, you know. So that was the first one, and that was just like hella fun, you know. So that was dope.
that's hard. Back to the album. I'm curious about where on the low key comes from, because I saw that you had a song from a couple years back with that name. Is there like any meaning to that, or is that like something that like you're just like, this is hard?
That was just a freestyle. Like I just freestyled that track, and I actually recorded that in the car for on the low key, and that was Ghostface Player. He produced that track. But yeah, so that was like Ghostface Player. He sent me that beat, and you know I did a freestyle, and that was one of my biggest tracks. I don't know if it's still my biggest track. And so I was like, yeah, this should be a single for the album. And so I ended up like just messing with that as like the album name, and it was originally gonna be on the album, and we were gonna do like a part 2 and everything, but it didn't end up being that. Like I said, the album changed so many times, like completely different each time.
What song do you think you're most proud of off the project?
Off the project, Gone Baby Gone. I love that song. I like that. I like Final Boss. You know, Final Boss is one of my favorite tracks I've done too. I just feel that those just like, they don't really sound like anybody else out, and I feel like it just meshes, like it's just animalistic with it, you know.
If you could only show, like, to define who you are as an artist, like one song, what would it be?
Ooh, that's hard. That's hard. Just bump the album. just get the whole album, you know. But nah, like it's that's too hard for me to answer, man. Like I could give you a couple songs, but it's just all over the place. Because that's the thing, is like there's people that find my music, and I feel like you're not gonna get the same song. You know, like you might find my music, like one song, and then go through and see like, damn, like it's all over the place. You know, so.
I know that you brought up Krayshawn and like performing with her, and that you managed her. I'm curious about the album intro though. Like, how did that come about? What was the Three Wishes thing?
I was watching like on the low key, like I was just like in my room watching a bunch of horror movies. Like I had horror movies on like 24/7, rewatching
Wishmaster.
Like, yeah, watched all the Wishmasters, and I was like, yo, I want to do a Wishmaster intro, like so.
That's hard. I'm curious. What the fuck does ganking mean?
Ganking is like taking somebody's shit. Like that's like robbing them, you know. And like I think I just like quoted Ice Cube and like Straight Outta Compton with that right now.
Oh, I don't know why I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, no. So it's like Shoddy Pimp with like ganking fools. Like, you know, that's like, you know, you gank somebody, you know. So
you brought up that when you make a beat, you don't tend to like consistently make them like 20 in a row. What inspires like your beat making process? Like,
man, just to rap on it. You know, I want a song when I make a beat. I don't like making beats. I don't listen to like my own beats. Like, so when people like want a beat tape, I'm like, it's like not worth it for me, because I'm not gonna listen to it. You know, so because like when I made beat tapes, it was just because I was like in high school and couldn't record all the time. So it was like that was a way to like express myself, was making like a beat. But now it's to the point like I can just record all the time, so I don't drop beat tapes.
What, even with that, like what would you say is your favorite song of yours that you haven't rapped on, that you produced for?
That I haven't rapped on? Shoot. I keep all the ones for me that I want, you know, like there hasn't been any beat that I've sent out and I'm like, oh, I should have rapped on it. I will rap on it, you know.
Um. Okay, let's come back to this. What on earth was going on with all the diss tracks recently with Wabbit season and everything going on with that?
Bro, that was mad funny. I was like recording because I had to go to Arizona, so I had like one day before Arizona, so I was recording all my features and everything, and they dropped a track. Like I got like a notification that they like dropped a track, and I'm like, they probably dissed me because they just been like dissing people. I was like, I'm next. So I like checked it immediately. I didn't even listen to the track. I just made a diss track and just put it out like immediately, like, I don't know, 15 minutes, you know, and it wasn't even a diss track. It was like a feeler. It was just like, all right, well, what's up with this? You know? So put that out, and then they responded back, and then boom, I responded again, and then they responded back, and then I responded again. So
was that just like some lighthearted, like hip hop, like?
Yeah, it was just hip hop because I knew what they were doing. Like they had like this wheel, they spin the wheel and then they like diss somebody off of it. And so nobody responded because it was always like, oh, people were like, oh, are they gonna respond?
Especially that 15-minute reply back. You're like, oh fuck, I don't even have enough time to think.
Yeah, you know, like so they just like, because that was the thing. It was like I just saw it and I'm like, yeah, why not? You know, because I had some time, so I just did it right then and there.
You say if you make beats that like you keep that for yourself. There's an artist of mine that is like one of my all-time favorites that I was like, when I saw that you got a beat placement, I was like, oh shit, how the hell did you end up on a Ramirez album?
Oh yeah. I literally hit up Ramirez because he had followed me like a while back, and I was like, yo, you want some beats? Because I had a beat in mind, and it was actually I made. Like that beat was made from scratch, like complete scratch. And so I ended up sampling myself on there. And then there's like a little laugh in there, and then that's me doing like the laugh. And but yeah, I sent him like a pack of beats, so there might be more.
Oh shit.
But you got Semper on there, so shout out Semper too.
When are we gonna get a Apoc Ramirez track?
I don't know. I hope soon, man. He go hard.
That would be rare as fuck. What is MYG and how did that come about?
MYG stands for Mind Your Goal, and I made a track with my homie like Rob Sire. I can't remember when, and it was one of my first solo music videos, and so it was called Mind Your Goal. I have no idea like why it like became that. I just like said it, and I was like, you know what? That's hard. I'm gonna keep that. And so I ended up making a group / label called Mind Your Goal. And so we got hella talented artists, and we getting ready to drop a tape here soon. We already dropped one tape called what is it? The first chapter.
Do you forget about a lot of the songs you made being so consistent? Do people ever be like, yo, this and that is my favorite track ever, and that like totally saved my life, and you're like, oh yeah, I did make that.
That happens with like collabs that I do. Like if somebody gets me on their track, because I do so many features. Like that's one thing like I take pride in, is like, because I like to get different sounds, so I do so many features and collabs. So there might be like a song that I recorded, like a long time ago with somebody that reached out to me, and somebody would be like, oh man, I listen to that all the time. I discovered your music, and I might not remember it. But as far as my tracks, I would say I remember pretty much all of them.
What would you say in the market that we're in right now is like the most challenging aspect, if you even come across this, of like being a rapper in the fucking TikTok sell your soul oversaturation market?
Come again? What did you say?
Like what do you say is like the hardest part? I mean, like, okay, maybe. Actually,
okay. You talking about the hardest part of like getting the music out there?
Yeah.
Oh,
because I saw there was like a good stretch of memes that I thought was the funniest shit ever that you made, where you're like, here's a fucking video. Oh, Blood Pool's music video out now.
Oh man, yeah. No, I did that because it's like the algorithm is always banning me. Like that's the whole thing. There's so much content. Like I keep my content, as far as when I'm advertising, I keep it PG. Like I try to keep it where like, you're not gonna be offended if you see my content. And it really pisses me off because I'm constantly getting my posts like deleted by Instagram for like offensive content.
For what?
That's what I'm saying. Like anyone that sees my content knows that like, I mean, I censor like the middle finger, like, you know, like literally on bad day, you can see I got a pixelated middle finger on there, bro. And they, yeah.
God, IG has become absolute fucking Nazis.
Yeah, no, Waffle House, drug dealer Waffle House, a song I just dropped that got deleted multiple times, and so I wasn't gonna drop it for a while because it was like they were like, "Yo, your Instagram's at risk of being deleted for just using that."
If you were on Instagram pre-COVID, knowing what a fucking Wild West that was beforehand, knowing how just anal they are, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
And it's still a Wild West. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand what their problem is with me, but like if you see a post and it's like gone, like they deleted it. Like they literally will tell me all the time, like, "Oh yeah, like this is offensive," and they won't tell me why it's offensive. And that's something
that's the best part.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like I can finally say something about it now, like because I can't say it on Instagram. I can't be like, "Hey, like they're censoring me." Like I hate posting because it's like everything I post they censor it, and it's crazy.
Don't you ever dare be facetious or sarcastic or on Instagram because they will fucking.
Oh, dude, I
ass.
posted one thing that's still got my account in trouble. Is I posted an Instagram story that was a meme of Trojan coming out with reused condoms. I posted that as a meme, and it's like, obviously that's a meme. And they were like, "You're spreading false information and your account's at risk." I'm like, yo.
Yeah. Oh my God.
They were like, "This is threatening."
What do you feel like is the worst song you've ever made?
The worst song I've ever made? Shit.
That is like still out there. That people still like might be like, "Yo, I fucking love that song."
Shit. I don't know. There's one song that people really like that I do not like, and I'm trying to think of what it is because people will come up to me all the time and be like, "Oh yeah, you remember that one song?" Damn, I'm trying to think, man. Anything I deleted off my SoundCloud is like I wasn't fond of. You know, there's been a couple tracks I deleted, probably like 4 notable ones. I don't know what that was.
Would you consider yourself to be an artist?
What is an artist?
Like your favorite artist?
Yeah, definitely. Because it's like I feel like that's the hardest part of breaking my music through is like I know there's a ton of artists that listen to my music.
Like the real ones recognize you,
Yeah.
but
like with Final Boss, like Tara Reid, he shouted out Final Boss. Like he was like, "Yo, that track goes so hard." You know, he followed me because he saw that. So
that's hard. If you were ever offered a, not necessarily like a deal, but like let's say, like you brought up Tara Reid. I don't think he's adjacent enough, but like somebody like, God forbid, G59 or but like All But Six were to hit your line, would you be like, "Nah, independent, baby"?
that's the thing. I consider it like whatever's on the table. I would consider it, and a lot of people assume that like I don't fuck with like Suicide Boys and I don't fuck with like all these artists. I don't know why. Like I said,
It's one of those things where like I always have to like tiptoe around it because it's like, come on, like we all. Everybody likes a Suicide Boys song or two. Like, come on.
Yeah, I did art for Suicide Boys in like 2013.
Damn.
So like, you know, Suicide Boys, both of them were following me for like the longest time until they unfollowed everybody. So
God damn, how the fuck are you so tapped in?
yeah, no, I would have been like 13, like, you know, doing art. They hit me up about because it was their album Gray, and so I did the original cover for that.
Damn, that's hard. Being from Atlanta, from Georgia, Atlanta space, what do you feel like? Do you feel like Atlanta respects you, or even like, do you feel like they give their flowers to Apoc?
That's the thing is like I've noticed I never really focused on it. Like I always went where I thought my music was gonna be popping, and just recently I've been, you know, like enjoying Atlanta and like performing locally Because like I said, I didn't go to like shows and all that. Like I said, Xavier Wolf was like my first show, and that's pretty far out.
That's so crazy to me, especially with all the fucking like bam, 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 all the shit you've been telling me. I'm like, Xavier Wolf, like, no disrespect to Xavier Wolf, especially 2015, 2016 era. That was like peak. Like that blows my mind.
Yeah, no, like that was like yeah, I've definitely performed at more shows than I've been to, and so just recently within the last 2 years, I've been noticing that like Atlanta fucks with me, like the hometown, because I never locally like promoted. Like I made music and then I just brought it straight to whoever was, wanting it.
Shout out to Chronically Online.
Yeah.
Do you come from like a family of music, like musicians?
Well, my uncle is like super talented. Now he wasn't like, he wasn't like recording a lot of music, but he's just super talented with like every instrument. And he found out that I had an interest in music, and he got me started with. He got me a machine, and so that was the first thing I was producing on was a machine. And so yeah, he got me that, and he got me a microphone, and so he definitely got me started. But I don't come from like a family of, just music people.
Do you have anybody in your life that was like the one that like put you on to the path you were on, or were you were the Chronically Onliners?
I would definitely want to say it was like a Chronically Online thing, because how I started rapping was I was rapping at parties, and so like it was like a party trick, and people are like, whoa, well, you're like actually good. you should start rapping. And then I had a dream that like I was a rapper, and then I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And I get a lot of my lyrics from like dreams. Like I'll literally like wake up like in the middle of the night, like I'll have a dream, wake myself up, and then make that song. And so like that's like Gone Baby Gone, that's Final Boss. Like I had dreams of those first, and so boom.
Damn, that's hard. With such things as like, even though I feel like the underground as a whole it exists, but it doesn't exist. What do you feel like is setting things back? I don't know how to phrase this. It's really weird because it's like such an oversaturated market and it's so popular, but I don't feel like it exists as much in real life as it did like circa like 2016 to 2018, where like the local scenes and like artists like yourself, like if you were in the same realm you were right now, but it was like 2018, it would be like packed out shows. It would be lively as fuck. Like what is preventing everyone from like, what do you personally think is preventing everyone from like kind of making
the vultures,
that like kind of thing happen again?
There's so many vultures. Like there's so many people that literally their first song just blew up immediately because they wanted to just do like a cowbell song, a funk song, hyperpop, whatever it may be. They're just like straight vultures. They don't have any respect for the culture. They don't have any respect for anyone that came before them, and they only make music to get like validation. Like I don't make music for validation. Like I make music because I have to make music. And like I said, I don't care. Like if no one was there, I would still be making music and listening to it myself. Like I listen to my own music because I like what I make. And that's the biggest thing is the vultures. And that's on both sides. That comes from labels. That comes from just anybody that sees a song and is like, oh, I want to do a song. And so that's a huge part of it. There's not as much fun in it. People care too much. Like not every song you have is going to go platinum. Not every song is going to be like the best song. You should be able to just go out there and make like a joke freestyle, like, Drug Dealer Waffle House that I just dropped. Like that's, I'm not being serious. I'm not like, I need this on the charts, like, nah, like that was fun. I was freestyling,
If I'm not on the tirade playlist tomorrow, I'm fucking hanging it all up.
Literally, no, that's what I'm saying, man. Like it's crazy. Like the fun isn't there. Like you look back and people are chronically online, and like that's no offense to like the people that are chronically online. Like I love y'all, but it's like you need to be
have that mix of lit in real life and lit online.
You need to be in person. You need to have experiences. You need to meet people. Like most of the artists I've worked with, I've met. Like, I've met them in person. I went out there and kicked it with them. We may not have made music in person, but, I met them. So, but they should be having fun. you know.
Um, why? I feel like I don't want to name drop, but I feel like there's a handful of names that I'm sure you can think of that like are kind of spread all over across the country. What is preventing from everyone from like making an in-person show happen, and why is it going to be me and you doing that in Atlanta in the next couple of months?
Hey, yeah, you letting them know. Man, as far as that,
Because okay, for example, like you look back at like 2015, 2016, and then you'll be like, oh shit, that's fucking Xavier Wolf, X, Little People, like every motherfucker that is like the like who people would now consider either a trailblazer or like, you know, like all the time you'll see some like some shitty local flyer from some random city, and you're like, that's every goat on earth. And I see people like you, gonna refuse to name drop because I don't want to put all you guys into a box, but there's a handful of people that I would really love to see and only makes sense to like have a show happen. Like, what is preventing that, do you think?
I would say the biggest thing is like egos and politics, because it's like back then you look at the shows that they had, man, you had everybody that's like so influential now on one show with no problems. And now everybody's got an issue with each other. They don't want somebody to be bigger than them. They don't want, like with me, like I'll do a show with anybody, even if I don't like fuck with them. Like I would do a show, you know, we come through, like, cause it's for the fans. It's for the good of the culture, you know. And like, you know, there's too much of like, oh, I don't want to work with him, or he's bigger than me, or I want to be headliner. Like, I don't care about none of that. I'm just trying to get people out there, have a good show, you know.
That I appreciate that mindset, because as somebody who has been a big fan of this, like, I hate to say underground, but like, you know, I'm not nearly as fucking tapped in as you. Goddamn. Okay, Mr. fucking alternative gray 2013 album cover art. Jesus Christ. Fuck, they just put like 60K on Billboard this week. Like, damn.
Yeah, crazy. I went to the Gray Day. Shout out Parvo, you know, he got me in there, and so I got to see, you know, they had Ghost Main and City Morgue and Suicide Boys. That was crazy to see. And one thing I want to say is, like, you know, because people hate on Suicide Boys, but at the end of the day, they popularized like a lot more for like this underground like music, and be that as it may, it definitely like allowed people like in Atlanta and stuff like that to be more accepting of the music. Now, I still hate getting like, oh, this sounds like Suicide Boys. I still hate getting that, just because, and it's nothing against them. Any artist like hates like a random comparison, because it's like, no, I don't have like, I wouldn't say I have a Suicide Boys influence. Like, you know, they made music at the same time I made music, you know. So
it's one of those things that I think is kind of weird that like it took so long for, I don't want to say the South because it's a bit more wider than that, but just like the East Coast in general, like everybody chalked it up to just be like California and New York, but in retrospect, like the South was putting out so much more important, I don't want to say important music, but like there's so much more like lore and culture and core things that like it didn't feel like even it got its flowers until 2015, even though it was like 30 plus years of like super important music. Where like I do my research all the time on things just because I'm like a fan of stuff and I like to know. And it's like still I'm just like all the time I'm like, god damn. I had a question to come with that, but what do you feel like is the biggest creative risk you've taken so far?
Probably working on this album. Because it's just like when I did that album, I took a year to work on it, and that might have like cut a little bit of momentum, but it was just something I wanted to do. You know, I wanted to have an album that would last, and I wanted to make it from scratch. There's like no samples on that album. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of any samples on that album. So I learned that specifically. So, you know, I was sitting there with like keyboards and equipment, learning to use that, and that definitely stopped like momentum of me dropping a track like every other day, you know. So
You're like, if one of these finna blow, I'm gonna fucking get all of the dollars, all the dollary dues from this. I'm not getting a fucking Juicy J DJ Paul phone call being like, hey, by the way, we're gonna need 75%, if not 100.
Yeah, big on them samples, man.
Do you feel like you got the? I've noticed, like, not to define by numbers, but I see that, like, going through your Discog, I genuinely feel like On the Low Key is probably the best introduction, if not like your strongest body of work. And it's cool to see that, like, when you go on your Spotify on that, like, most popular releases, it's like one of those things that's like recommended. Are you gonna work on a follow-up, or are you just like?
Yeah, I'm working on a follow-up right now, and like I said, there's 3 albums of content. Like I mean, On the Low Key was, I don't know, 40 50 tracks, you know.
Damn.
And then there was a side that was like completely Memphis, and then there was a side that was completely G-Funk. And so what you get is you get the merger, and that's what On Low Key is right now.
Do you have any inspirations for your music past, like, the core things like horror movies, Memphis, funk, that like people would be surprised inspires you to like make music?
There's, I don't know how to explain this, but there's like a weird section of time where they had like these compilation type VHSs that would just have weird things, you know, like what's that, like Faces of Death, you know, the Faces of Death.
Shout out to the people making gore Apoc compilations. I know exactly. I know what you're talking about. Faces of Death is one of those ones that like it's like half real and half fake.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. They got like Faces of Death, they got Traces of Death, and they got like things like Cops Too Hot for like TV, just weird stuff that they were just putting all together. And it makes me feel like it has this, I don't know, this evil vibe to it that makes me feel like we like in a, what is the opposite of utopia? Dystopia?
Yeah.
This like a dystopian future where we're like, oh, it's like here is a VHS of like horrible car accidents on video. Like that's really fucked up. And that kind of gives me like inspiration, because like when I make music and when I listen to music, people are like surprised by the music I listen to, because it's usually pretty dark. And I'm not like, I wouldn't say that I'm like a dark person. Like I'm very positive most of the time, but I think it provides a contrast that we need, you know.
What is that called? It's like life just needs balance.
Yeah, it needs balance, and I need people like, you need people to realize, especially when you look at like what hip hop, like the OG hip hop was it was people talking about their experiences,
and they were some real life dark ass experiences.
And that's the thing, is like a lot of people, they hear this music and they want to get into a dark experience. If you're not in a dark experience, then don't try to get into it. You know, don't try to get into poverty. Don't try, you know, you don't need to be a gangster. Like that's not what it's about.
It's like hip hop and punk are very much like trauma music in an extent, for traumatized people, made by traumatized people.
Especially, yeah. And I think people like kind of forget that, and they just think like, oh, this is fun. Like this is a fun thing to talk about. And it's like, no, it's not. There's a reason why we talk about what we do, and it's not supposed to be painted in a good light, you know.
It's one of those things where it's like, if I don't get on these fucking cowbells, we're gonna make Faces of Death 6, but just with me and you.
Yeah, man. I got like I go to thrift stores and immediately I look for like fight compilations, like backyard wrestling compilations.
Oh my god, you just opened some repressed ass memories. I don't know what the equivalent of it would be over here, but like in Washington, they had this place called Hastings, which was like an amalgam of like Blockbuster, Barnes and Noble, like Hot Topic, essentially a fucking, probably both. If you were a kid, you would have been like, I want to live here type shit. Yeah. And I remember they had bum fights and all, like they had this section that was just fucked. And like in retrospect, I cannot believe that they like just like had that in the same place that you could get like Sleepless in Seattle and
exactly
Marley and Me. Like it was like A
You
bunk
know what
section.
I'm talking about. Like it's crazy that those exist. Like it should not exist for all reasons. And it's like that's not something I sit there and watch and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. It's just more so I collect it. Like it's like collecting like memorabilia from like the war or some shit. You know?
It's also one of those things that like in this, I don't know how to define this. It's just very real to life because people kind of are so chronically online that they forget that like fuck shit happens every single goddamn day.
Yeah.
While I find a question, I saw when I was like doing research, because you've only done so many interviews, we have a shared love for the Grim Adventures for Billy and Mandy.
How did you know that?
Because I found an interview where you spoke on it.
That's crazy. I don't even remember that.
You were like, this is it. This is core.
I love the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and that's the funniest thing to me because I revisit it now that I've seen all the horror movies that they have references to, and it's amazing to me. Like they got like Evil Dead references. They even have just like really weird like medieval torture references. You know, they talk about trepanation, lobotomies, like all types of stuff that kids like wouldn't know about.
God, I wish they would do like a revitalism, like even if it was like some
I think
DreamWorks type shit.
I think the guy that made it is Maxwell Adam.
Yeah,
I think Maxwell Adam. He's working on like several projects and he had like GoFundMe's for certain stuff, and I don't know. He's a cool creator as far as that.
Yeah, him and what is it, Gennady Tartakovsky, the Samurai Jack guy.
Yeah.
Who also did like Hotel Transylvania and that shit.
Another one I like is the guy that makes those bootleg universe movies. I don't know if you know him. He made like a Judge Dredd animation, and now Netflix.
Yeah, he did like that Power Rangers thing. I know it.
Yeah.
Fuck, he did the Castlevania. I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, Castlevania too.
Other than Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, do you have any like I guess we could say Faces of Death, but do you have any like media that like traumatized you as a kid?
Shoot.
Like movie, show, like anything that is like a core like, oh fuck.
I remember the first thing that like kind of spooked me, but it wasn't too bad, was RoboCop 2, because they have this scene where this guy gets shot down by the big.
Oh, is it the one where it just keeps going?
It just keeps going, bro. I remember watching that and I was confused. I didn't even understand like the concept of blood. Like when I saw that, I'm like, what is going on? Why is he turning red? You know?
What a great introduction to the concept of blood is like every single ounce of blood leaving your body.
Yeah, because I watched RoboCop all the time as a kid. All the time. Like it was like my favorite movies, just like all the RoboCop movies, but I would watch them on TV. Like my mom would have me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Like, cause I'm like, I was about to say the first RoboCop. Don't they fucking like shoot a dick off in that?
Bro, the first RoboCop is crazy. It's an introductory into exploitation movies. It's like probably one of the biggest like exploitation movies that people don't know is exploitation.
Some like Tromaville shit for mainstream audiences.
Exactly, that's what it is. Cause watching that, you watch like the edited version, they don't show any of that. Like it's hilarious to see an edited version. Cause my mom like saw like RoboCop like recently, and she's like, "Wait, I let you watch this?" And it's like, "No, we watched it on like TV." So it's like instead of like saying "fuck," they're like. I don't even know. You know, they take everything out of that movie.
I'm sure the dude that you're talking about, that blood scene, he just falls out the window.
Yeah, he just falls out the window. Literally, that was the scene. Because then when I saw the real scene, I'm like, it just keeps going. And I'm pretty sure there's an extended version. I remember seeing an extended version where like bro's just like this. You know?
There's so many scenes in that second one, like when they're doing trying to find a new RoboCop and they're like testing it, and they're just dudes dying one after another.
Yeah, like the guys in there as a brain just screaming like. Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you have any like, other than like Evil Dead, is there any specific like directors or writers who make horror that like you would feel like would have inspired your music?
Rob Zombie. Like off the bat, that's the first name I can think of. You know, so you got the director from Evil Dead, Sam Raimi, and then Rob Zombie definitely. Because it's, in a way, I relate it back to underground music, and that's why I like Memphis music so much, is because it feels like a low-budget horror film. Because that's essentially what they were doing, you know, because Sam Raimi, he was doing it himself. You know, like it was just DIY.
Mm-hmm.
They had a very small budget. They knocked on doors and they made this horror film that blew up. You know, and that was, I mean, they didn't even have safety like at all. So many people almost like died filming that. It's crazy.
Have you ever thought about like actually making like horror movies at all? Like you said you wanted to be a director. Is that something I've seen? Like you kind of like, if there's a creative pursuit, it seems like you're on it. Like you make memes, you make your own cover art, you make your own beats, you rap on shit. Like, do you have any plans to like make any horror movies?
Definitely. Like that's the goal, you know, because like when I was like, I don't even know, shoot, 4 years old or whatever. Because I remember, specifically remember they asked everybody like, what you want to be? And kids are like, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be an astronaut. And I'm like, I want to be a movie director. And they're like, pick something else. I'm like, what? They're like, no, like you want to be something else? You want to be like an astronaut, or you want to be an animal? Like, I don't know. They asked kids to dream for that, but I don't know. Maybe they just wanted them to have a society job. They're like, oh. So yeah, definitely want to make movies. I definitely got like a couple scripts, you know. So
Like old or like newer?
it would be old, you know. I just like come back and visit them, add on to it. You know, I started like trying to write a script when I was like 12 years old, and so that would have been just like very crude, you know, very crudely made. But I've had the ideas like since then, you know, and I'm holding on to them.
You know, I've talked about a lot personally about the oversaturation and stuff, but what are your personal thoughts about like the hip hop market right now? Like, is there anybody like, do you feel like things are gonna, okay, rap technically had like, what was it? Was it last year, last 2 years? It was like officially became the number one. Like it finally took over rock. And I felt like right after that happened, like this kind of like, it kind of became like off-putting to people for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just
You're saying rap?
Yeah. Like, do you feel like things are going to like snap back, or do you feel like rap is kind of like going to have a Nickelback era?
A Nickelback era?
Which I kind of low-key feel like we're in right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say, because people say, you know, I mean, hip hop's dead, like all that. I mean, everything's in a state of decay to a certain extent, but there's always good music out there. So I'm not one of those people that like everything's trash, because I'm constantly looking for music, but at the same time, a lot of that is on the consumer, and it is supply and demand. So it's like, please stop hyping up these artists that suck. Like, please stop listening to them. I'm begging you. Like, everybody that's hyping up like these artists that just make garbage music, it changes it for everybody, because then the people are discouraged from making music because they're just like, it falls on deaf ears, you know.
So what you're saying is your next collab project is with Netspin?
Hey, no, shout out to Netspin.
I actually fuck with Netspin, but
yeah,
you know
shout out
what I mean?
Netspin, bro. No, like that's the whole thing, and I can't even think of like, it would be the people you don't hear about. Like I can't hate on anybody that I'm hearing their name constantly, because they're doing something.
Right.
You know, it's the people you don't hear about that just drop a song and they pay millions of dollars to get it advertised and all that. Like I can't stand that.
I'm so curious about like, I've noticed this thing with like people who are tapped in. Like, if you found out about all this music right now, I'm not gonna hate on you, but like there's this thing that I've noticed where it doesn't even matter what age demo you are in. If you were tapped into things pre-COVID and post-COVID, there's this like kind of being so more into the like, granted, to an extent, most artists should have a little dibble dabble of degeneracy and narcissism to them, but like it's nothing but that. Like they just care about the smoke screen and the mirrors. Like they will do the pay to play shows, they'll do the fucking not botted streams, but like all the playlisting and like stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Like,
it's fake. it's fake. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you got to do all that, because like you're searching for something that you're never gonna find in music. Like you have a hole that you're just not filling, you know, and Because it's like with me, I like I had said, I don't make music for validation. I see a lot of people that it really matters to them. It's just like when I got hate on like for making Final Boss, like a lot of people would have been like, "Oh man, let me take this down." That's not what I'm gonna do, because at the end of the day, I'm making it because I love music, and social media is very hard for me, man. Like I don't like social media.
Do you find it like discouraging at all?
Find social media discouraging? Yeah, I find it discouraging.
Like when it comes to like specifically like dropping a song and knowing that like that it's you versus the algorithm. It's not even you versus your audience.
Yeah, it's yes and no. Like I said, it's frustrating to be censored by the algorithm. There's little ways around it, but there's a lot more like corrupt shit going on than just the algorithm. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. And so I would say it is discouraging. I just find social media in general to be discouraging because you are forced to post something that you don't want to post in order to get it out there. And like that's why I make memes, because it's just like I want people to know like I think it's a joke. Like I think social media is a joke. I don't think that we have to be out there like, I'm not somebody that's on there that's just like tweeting like my feelings all day and everything, because I don't need it. And that's nothing against people that like, if you're using social media as a diary, that's all good to you, but like that's not my vibe.
In the edit, as you're saying all that, I'm gonna put the Blood Pools music video over your face.
Yeah, that would be hard, bro.
Blood Pools music video out now.
Just like cut the whole interview, just put the Blood Pools on loop.
What are your long-term goals with my shit just died. Okay, well, I'm gonna wing this. What are your long-term goals for the future, like overall? Like Apoc Krysis dies in a plane crash at 89 years old. What is
89? I was about to say, I was like, what are you saying?
I'm not gonna put no bad juju on you, don't worry. Peacefully passes away in a plane crash before they even pass. What do you hope people take away from your music?
Shoot, I feel like it's different for everything. Like everything I do, I want you to take away something different. There's a feeling that I want you to feel, because there's artists that, because I have director brain. Like when I approach things, I do approach it like I'm making a movie. That's why there's atmosphere to it. That's why there's like a universe, and so it's different every time. There's something to take away, because like if I make a song with an emotion, it's not necessarily how I feel. And there's a lot of artists that make music and it's how they feel. This is how I want you to feel. Like if I make a sad song, it's not because I'm sad. I want you to feel sad, because that's the world I created,
That's hard. I can relate to that. Do you feel like Apoc is just a character to an extent, but that's who you are?
Yeah, no, I'm Apoc. Like that's who I am. As far as like, the universe you hear in my music and stuff, it can be whatever, but it's like a mixture. But definitely, because people, anytime somebody doesn't like me, they're like, you have this persona. And it's like, I don't have a persona. Like I see a monkey on Instagram, I'm going to post that monkey, because it's like, it's adorable, and people got an issue with that. People got an issue with me like sharing like a cute dog or something. They're like, that's not gangster. You're not being gangster. And it's like, bro, like I'm not trying to be. Like that's the whole thing. I'm being me, So whatever you view, if you're intimidated by me, you're intimidated by me. You're scared of me,
What do they know? That picture, that cute monkey went hood platinum. They don't know what's gangster.
Exactly. That's gangster as fuck. Cute monkey 2025.
Damn, you heard it here first. On the low key follow up. Cute monkey 2025.
That's the thing. There is so much like personas and stuff, because like I don't have a persona. Like I'm talking how I would talk right now. I didn't sit up there and puff out my chest and be like, I gotta go in there. Yeah, I'm gangster. Yeah, like no, I'm not doing that shit.
He's lying. He came in here and he pulled my card immediately. All right. I guess because my fucking iPad died, I had a couple more questions, but we've been recording for a fat minute. Normally I have people freestyle, and I'm so sad I fucking can't. But it's an honor to have you. This was rare as fuck. Shout out Apoc. Shout out Halloweenville.
Shout out Halloweenville, man. I appreciate y'all having me.
If you're watching this, probably in the future, we did an Atlanta show with all the homies, and 300 billion people showed up, and we saved the underground scene, and everybody started coming outside and stopped looking at TikTok.
We created world peace.
And, you know, and then World War III happened, and everything went to shit. So, you know.